January 30th joint meeting of Glendale City Council and Glendale Housing Authority. May we have a roll call for council, please?
Sure. Council members Agajanian,
Present.
Devine,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Sinanian,
Here.
and Mayor Garpetian.
Here. May we have a...
Housing.
For Housing Authority members Agajanian,
Present.
Garpetian,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Parazian, Sinanian,
Here.
and Chair Devine.
Here.
May we have your report, please?
Of course. The agenda for January 30, 2018 joint public meeting of City Council and Housing Authority was posted Friday, January 26, 2018 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Okay, what's next?
Next, we have under action items, we have Director of Community Development regarding approval of professional services agreement with Kaiser Martin and Associates to provide comprehensive study on inclusionary zoning ordinance and development impact fee for benefit of providing affordable housing. At 1A, we have City Council approving the PSA to conduct comprehensive studies, and 1B, Housing Authority resolution appropriating $57,000.
Okay. Ms. Beers?
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Housing Authority Chair Devine, and members of the Housing Authority, I'd like to go to Philip Lanzafame, Director of Community Development, who will take you through this report.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Madam Chair, members of the Housing Authority, as part of your discussion on our housing strategy plan last year, one of the main items you asked us to follow up on was an inclusionary housing provision versus a development impact fee for affordable housing. With some legislation that was adopted, it became effective January 1st, cities are now able to have inclusionary zoning ordinances that would apply to for rent projects. Generally speaking, it is a market rate project. You can apply a certain or mandate a certain percentage be of affordable incomes. This is the first step to do that study to determine how many units, the percentages, and different parameters of a program that you would set up. This study would inform those policy decisions that we would like direction from the City Council and Housing Authority on those items related to inclusionary housing. The study will take about 6 weeks, and we think after maybe 2 weeks or so of staff analysis and preparation of a report, we'd be back to you sometime in the spring with that policy decision to make. Do we want to incorporate it in inclusionary housing? Do we want to, and then what would the parameters of a program look like? Again, this study would inform all of those questions. If you have questions today about the scope, again, staff is prepared to answer those. We're recommending approval of Kaiser Marston Associates for the amount indicated in the report.
Questions? I have a couple of questions, Mr. Lanzafame. Sorry. So this will analyze, I just want to reiterate what you said. This will analyze the affordability gap as well, right?
It will look at that so that you can then determine a fee to apply.
Okay. And also it will talk about the percentage of the affordable units that will be required to be provided within the certain developments, certain developments that are certain units plus, and we have to have a benchmark as to if it's a 20 units plus, 50 units plus, 30 units plus, and it will talk about those issues.
I think benchmark is a good word to use, and then you can set the policy wherever you want on that scale.
As well,
yes, this will inform that discussion for you.
As well as having the development impact fees for affordable housing versus the inclusionary housing. Those options are going to be compared and weighed. And
yes, we will. We will look at development impact fees on commercial. We will look at inclusionary and in lieu fees. If it is and this is a decision the council will ultimately have to make. Would you like, what is your policy? Do you want developers to build those units within their market rate housing throughout the city? Or do you want funding to go to the housing authority so that you can control what gets built, the type, the location, and those things? all of that will come back to you, and we will have suggestions on how to structure all that, depending on the direction you want to go.
I just want to make sure that we are looking at every single item, the inclusionary housing portion, as well as the development impact fee if this council chooses to go to that route. Because with inclusionary housing, when it's imposed, like Pasadena has an inclusionary housing ordinance, and most developers, they use SB 1818 and do away with the inclusionary housing law. And I want to make sure that we have the options of inclusionary housing as well as the development impact fee to compare and see what would fit in Glendale the best.
I will say to you that the decision, the policy decision about building versus funding is the same. In this, we know that the study that we want to focus on is the in lieu fee. It will generate dollars that would exceed a development impact fee. So depending on, again, the answer to that question, do you want the developers to build, or do you want to have the funding to build ourselves, will be in a matter of how we structure the inclusionary housing ordinance and encouraging the structure for that and developers to make that decision. So yes, the answer to your question is yes, we will have that before you, and we will study those two things.
All right. Any questions? Mr. Agajani.
So what we want to do, we want to give the chance to the developer to pay money, and we will build the affordable housing versus they would create or they will build the unit, right?
That is the overarching policy question for this board. We will have analysis through this study to help inform that decision. But yes, you are absolutely correct in terms of...
My problem is with the figure or amount of money which we are asking from developer, there is one problem for me. The developer will construct the unit in 1 year versus when we are doing, even we get the money today, let's say this unit costs $100,000. But by the time we finish a building, it takes, we go through all those ordinances, the rules and regulations. It will take us 3 to 5 years to have this affordable housing. So collecting money now from the developer, but we spend it 3 to 5 years later, that money loses its value. So how that you will consider in your calculation? Am I clear what I'm asking?
Yes, I absolutely do, and I'm going to ask you to hang on to that, because that's really for the discussion that takes place after we do this analysis and we're able to give you that information. Then the questions that you're asking are really germane to the conversation that the Housing Authority and City Council needs to have amongst yourselves in setting that policy. We will have the information, the background information, so that you can have that conversation in an informed manner.
When the report
Through
comes,
this
we'll
study.
talk about all of the options.
Exactly.
In essence, we're asking the KMA to prepare a report analyzing what's the maximum legally defensible fees that we could charge, and then the council will make the policy decisions on what those should be.
I'll move the item.
Before that, I have a speaker's card. Thank you, Mr. Lansing. I have a speaker's card. Chinook Ramirez. Sorry.
3 minutes?
Yeah, 3 minutes is fine.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to all of you, and God bless Donald Trump and God bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, I made a resolution that I will fight and fight and fight for the betterment of tenants. There are very good people that are struggling in their homes. They're having problems, what they call landlord-tenant problems. Harassment happens to be the main focus point. Harassment, and many people are not able to get any of their problems cured, not by the police department or the landlords. So consequently, the tenants, innocent bystanders, end up being munched, sandwiched both by the landlord and by the police department. They ignore the plight of the tenant who is addressing problems and with harassment, usually with gangbangers or drug dealers or criminal elements. Consequently, the individual has to move out. Where do they end up? Hotel, hotel, hotel. That's my situation, hotels. And what happens? I have to carry my stuff because it's also invaded with criminal elements, gangbangers. So today I decided I'm going to start naming license plate numbers of these gangbangers who are involved in home invasion robberies, theft of storages, harassment, graffiti, vandalism, invasion of your privacy, and all that. So I'm going to start by, again, denouncing and exposing these gangbangers who are also committing crimes here in Glendale and all around California. So God bless the law. The rule of law will stand. We are going to fry these gangbangers, you know what. The first one is 8. A as in apple, D as in David, B as in boy, 537. The next one is 6. B as in boy, Q as in queen, Z as in zebra, 066. The next one is 7. G as in go, B as in boy, G as in go, 348. The next one is 7. V as in victory, E as in egg, R as in rat, 857. The next one is 6. M as in Mary, P as in Paul, T as in Tom, 811. The next one is 4. T as in Tom, Q as in queen, U as in umbrella, 624. And the next one, 6. R as in rat, M as in Mary, D as in David, 814. And the last one is 7. U as in umbrella, G as in go, J as in Japan, 696. So what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, is giving you a list of license plate numbers that belong to criminal elements. I make it my point now to write it everywhere I go. I want to make sure that we compile the data, that we will protect law-abiding citizens so they don't end up homeless or on the streets or in hotels where they have to bring their, as you can see, all my furniture. God bless America. I still believe in the rule of law. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez.
Thank you.
What is next, please?
Motion and second?
I believe it was moved. I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Council members Agajanian,
Yes.
Devine,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Sinanian,
Yes.
and Mr. Garpetti.
Yes.
We also have a housing resolution.
I'll
Get
move
a
the
second.
item.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, please.
Authority members Agajanian,
Yes.
Garpetian,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Parazian, Sinanian,
Yes.
and Chair Devine.
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn from
So moved.
Second.
council?
Motion to adjourn Housing Authority?
How about I make that motion? You're the chair.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh, yes, yes, ma'am. So made.
Second.
Okay, once again, welcome to the January 30th special meeting of the Glendale City Council. May we have a roll call?